Hey guys, what's going on? So today is a non-riding video. I would like to talk about the pre-ride inspection, which is something that I take very valuable, although I'm not exactly sure how other riders go about it. Something about me. I am in school to become a pilot, and this is also something that you need to do before every flight, so this is also quite important before you ride. So one thing you want to do is just kind of look around your bike, make sure everything is looking all right, which it seems like it is. You want to check the tread depth, which I don't have a center stand on this bike, so I can't exactly do too well. But in between the deep treads, there is a little notch, which I will be able to probably show you on the back portion of the tire. Let's see. Here's one. So, if you can see where my finger is, way deep down in there, there's a little tiny notch. And basically what that tells you is when this portion of the tire becomes level with that little notch, it's time to replace your tires. There's also one on the front tire. I can't exactly see one, so yeah, it's basically just letting you know how things are going as far as tires. Another thing you need to look at is your chain. Make sure that there is a sufficient amount of play, which every manufacturer has its own specifications. On the Suzuki, it was 1 inch from the resting point, so as you can see, it doesn't move up and down too drastically. If it'll really flop around, that's when you need to tighten up your chain using these. Another thing you need to look at is your brake pads. As you can see here, this main thing is the caliper, this is the rotor, and inside here are the brake pads. And in between the orange and the rotor, you can obviously see there is quite a lot of pad left. I'm pretty sure that much like car brakes, motorcycle brakes also squeal when it's time to change those. Another thing you need to check is the oil. Not all bikes have this, but as you can see right here, there's a interesting hole, and if I get down low enough, you can actually see inside there is a little viewpoint, and you can see the color of the oil and the level. Another thing you need to check is your oil. Make sure that it's at the sufficient level, which if your bike does not have the viewpoint attached to the oil filler cap, will be a needle which you will drop in and use to check the level. So my bike seems to be at the sufficient oil level, so I will screw that back on. Another thing you should check is the brake fluid, which is the front, and the rear is right here. It has a upper and lower level, which can be shown by the 2 lines marked on the oil reserve. Another thing that not all bikes have, but this bike does, since it has a radiator, as you can see through here with the fins and all that, is coolant, which is provided right here. There is a low and a full mark, So what you would probably need to do on this bike is take off the side fairing, remove the filler cap, and refill that with coolant. Not all bikes have this as well. My bike does not. It is a gas gauge. As you can see, my bike does not have a gas gauge. It has a shift indicator light, a low gas light, neutral light, turn signal indicator, high beam indicator, and oil pressure indicator. This is saying that there is no oil pressure, but as you can see, once I start the bike, the oil pressure goes off. So, in order to check your gas, what I do is, my first ride, I will ride it as long as I can until the oil, either the gas light comes on, but as in the case of my last bike where I did not have a gas light indicator, I would mark how many miles I got on the last tank. And once you become familiar with how many miles your bike can take without a fill-up is when you'll know when you're low. So I know that with this coming up to 120 miles, I will probably need a fill-up. Also, with just knowing your gas tank capacity, this actually looks okay. But if you shake it around, you can actually hear how much gas is in there, and it will produce a different noise depending on just how much gas you have inside your tank. So anyway, just to let you guys know, I've started up a Twitter channel. It is, or a Twitter account. It is, are you quite done? It is at MotorcycleTutorials. If you could please check that out. I will be posting up different, updates there as appropriate. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. And remember, respect your bike, ride safe, and keep the rubber side down.